When the pharaoh, or when the initiate, the devotee, was put in that sarcophagus, I think there was a sympathetic resonance. When a particular point in space-time resonates at a particular frequency, it causes it to connect with a different point of space-time which has that same resonance. That's what allows the psychic body of the pharaoh or the initiate to literally travel from this point to that point across space-time. The only thing I would assume is that there is a similar type of structure set up on a planet in the Orion Nebula. So when this is resonating, it resonates with that. And so it just brings the person's consciousness from this state to that state.
The 3 pyramids at Giza, in their geographical positions, reflect the astronomical positions of the 3 belt stars of Orion. You see the Great Pyramid as one of those stars, and that star is Al-Nitak. And one of the confirmations of the connection between the Great Pyramid and Al-Nitak is that in the King's Chamber, you have an air shaft that is directed at this particular star, Al-Nitak, as it reaches its so-called culmination. In other words, the highest point that it reaches in the sky before it starts going down again. So this is confirmation that there's a relationship with the portal that we would identify with Orion.
One of the fascinating things about considering the King's Chamber, the Great Pyramid of Giza, as a device with the ability to open a portal into other realms, when the environment inside of the King's Chamber reached a sympathetic vibratory frequency, that resonance would create, in theory, the portal that would connect those 2 realms. The fact that the King's Chamber has only 2 shafts, one shaft pointed directly at Orion, suggests that at least Orion was a focus for that kind of portal. In theory, it could be used as a portal for other locations if the users, if the initiates knew the sympathetic vibratory resonance of those domains as well.
Did the ancient builders attempt to tell us something that would last beyond time immemorial? Each of the zodiac signs have been found on the walls of the King's Chamber, pointing us to the precessional clock of time. And what we're now finding is that we are able to match where we are in this clock, relational to the petroglyphs upon the walls within the King's Chamber. As we look at all of this, we start to realize another story is starting to emerge. The story of Orion passing through this entire 24,000-year cycle of time. This is why Orion is so prominent all around the world, telling us the story of the human journey through the duat, through the experience of having to experience a plane of duality so that we can transcend it. This is a moment in time when Orion remembers his own power, his own divinity, as he's standing straight up in the room. In fact, we can notice this reference even in the Last Supper painting by Leonardo da Vinci, that the room is actually matching the King's Chamber itself. The same inscriptions on the walls, the petroglyphs, can be found inside the painting of the Last Supper itself. Leonardo left us an incredible encryption through time. Each of the apostles representing the zodiac, and Jesus and the missing 1/14th of Orion. I believe this is the story that's being told in the Great Pyramid, that there was obviously energy that is coming off of that as a secondary purpose, because ultimately the purpose of the King's Chamber is a stargate. Each of the blocks are irregularly sized, and I believe that each of those blocks represents a different coordinate within space-time that can be accessed when the sarcophagus is placed in its original position at the center of the room, exactly over and framing the 3 belt stars of Orion.
We may have the physical evidence, and have had for hundreds of years, of a device that helps us to understand on a deeper level our relationship to higher realms, our relationship to other worlds, other dimensions, and our relationship to our body as a potential portal that opens the door to precisely these kinds of understandings. The Great Pyramid, the King's Chamber, the sarcophagus, and the evidence that was left behind is a mystery. Only by understanding a deeper relationship between geometry, chemistry, geology, and the cosmos that we are going to understand what happened on Giza so long ago. And the only way we can understand that is to understand ourselves and our relationship to the cosmos and the world around us.